When it comes to manifestation, when it seems like you're doing everything right and nothing is happening, it can feel so discouraging. I remember putting in so much effort, doing vision boards, affirmations, trying to think positive all the time. But what happens when you're doing all that and still nothing shows up? You then start wondering if you're blocked, or maybe manifestation just works for everyone else but you. There's actually a few points that go unnoticed by most people. And those things can feel so normalized that we don't even notice them unless somebody points them out to us. And that's what I'm here to do today. In this video, I'm gonna tell you about a few things that might be stalling your manifestations. And let's get straight into the first one, and that is manifesting from survival mode. This is one of the biggest things nowadays because a lot of people are surviving. You know, the inflation, how people are working and living. A lot of people are currently surviving. I'm gonna tell you a personal example. I was once going to therapy and my therapist asked me, what does your dream life look like? And I kind of thought about it and I said, you know what? I've been thinking about 1 or 2 weeks ahead into my life maximum. And I'm just trying to work and focus on what I need to do for the week. And she says, you know, it sounds like you've been living in survival mode. And it was a huge eye-opener. I highly recommend getting therapy because the eye-openers I would constantly get about myself are crazy. But besides the point, she pointed out that living, you know, in just 1 week, 2 weeks ahead is living in survival because I'm just trying to get through the week, trying to get through the day. And when you're not relaxed and when you're not dreaming about your goal life and you're not calm, trying to manifest can feel desperate and you have that sense of urgency. You might even feel like, when I manifest that new house, I will finally be able to relax. When I manifest that job that helps me pay all the bills and not live paycheck to paycheck, then I will be able to relax. And my job personally is a critical care nurse, so it's my job to keep people alive. So constant relaxation isn't exactly an option for me. So I had to incorporate some serious methods of relaxation. And I have a video about those methods and I will link it at the end of this video. Again, manifestation does not respond to urgency. It responds to safety. Sometimes all you need to do is learn how to calm your nervous system so your body actually feels safe enough to receive. Now, the next big reason why people aren't able to manifest is not taking action. Let's say you want to start a YouTube channel and make social media your income. Do you think writing affirmations and just visualizing would make that happen? Absolutely not. You have to do the work, you have to put together the equipment, you have to work on your camera presence. So in order to make some of our manifestations happen, we need to take actions, even if they're small. Let's say you want a new car. Well, your action could be going online and looking at all the deals out there. And then possibly it could be picking up a side job. Maybe it's going out and buying lottery tickets is still an action. Now, you don't need actions to manifest. It is a fact. However, because of our belief systems, we're conditioned to believe that things happen when we take action. So if you haven't been taking action on your manifestation, I suggest you try even small little steps. If you keep praying for abundance, but you never apply for the higher paying job, you know, never launch the channel, you never send the email, you're signaling to your subconscious that you don't truly believe it's possible. Action is what grounds belief into the physical world. Even small, imperfect steps tell your brain, this is real, we're doing this. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is wanting the outcome but resisting the identity. Let's bring back that YouTube channel example. You want to start a YouTube channel and make it your income? Are you still thinking of yourself like someone who just wants to start a YouTube channel and maybe one day it's gonna happen? You have to repeatedly start thinking of yourself as that leader. You know, every person that runs a YouTube channel is in some sort of way a leader. And that is an identity trait. You have to adapt that characteristic in order to be comfortable to be talking to a group of people. People want love, but still identify as someone who always gets abandoned. You know, they want confidence, but still describe themselves internally as shy or awkward. Manifestation is not just about attracting something into your life. It's about becoming the version of you who naturally has that thing. If something that you want seems too good to be true, that means you are resisting the identity. And be mindful, because a part of you can be attached to that old version of you because it's comfortable. Ask yourself honestly whether the version of you who already has what you want would feel familiar or uncomfortable right now. Something you can do to work on those beliefs is called shadow work, and I plan on making a video of that soon. Now, the next point is feeling desperate or overthinking your manifestation. Wanting something is normal. Needing something is different. When you're too attached, the energy can feel anxious and impatient. You're constantly checking for signs, overanalyzing every little thing, and wondering why it hasn't happened yet. You can also be thinking of different ways of how it could happen. And this state communicates lack. I am looking for it. Where is my manifestation? Manifestations flow much more easily when there's calm certainty. When you trust that what's meant for you is coming and you're okay in the meantime. Another reason manifestations stall is because people say one thing and they believe completely another. If you tell yourself that you're worthy, abundant, and chosen, but if your inner dialogue does not reflect that, if you are filled with self-doubt, self-criticism, or fear, that's the frequency you're actually operating from. Now, manifestation does not respond to what you say once in the morning. It's gonna respond to the thoughts you repeat unconsciously all day long. Becoming aware of how you talk to yourself throughout the day is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. And I have a video about that on my channel, and I will link it in my description. Now, the next point is waiting to feel worthy first. A lot of people are waiting to feel this feeling of worthiness before they allow themselves to receive. They think they'll feel confident once the manifestation arrives, or safe once there's proof. You know, people who don't believe in manifestation, they tend to say, I'll believe it when I see it. But that's not how it works. And you don't receive because you finally proved you're worthy. You're actually more likely to receive when you stop questioning your worth altogether. Worthiness isn't something that you earn. Guys, we spend many lifetimes. I personally believe in reincarnation. We spend thousands of lifetimes finding ourselves over and over again, and therefore finding our worthiness. Imagine that, thousands of years we spend finding ourselves over again and finding our worthiness. You probably won't get that far, so you would probably benefit in not thinking about your worthiness as much when it comes to your manifestation. Of course, it's a good idea to work on your self-esteem, but do not tie your manifestations and desires to your worth. The next reason is being addicted to your old story. And this is very similar to being attached to your old identity, because again, we're comfortable with our current identity. That's why a lot of people tend to stay in one place, in one job, because it's just comfortable. It's comfortable for us to stay in one place. It's comfortable to not start a business. It's comfortable to work an easy job, even if your story contains negative aspects, like the story of you always struggling, always being overlooked, always having to work harder than everyone else, that can also be addicting. And at some point, when you want that new reality, you have to release the old story. And that takes a lot of conscious choices and changes. Again, thinking about how you talk, being conscious of your thoughts and the thoughts that are replaying in your head all day long. When you try to force things instead of allowing, it could be another block in your way. There is a difference between inspired action and forcing something to happen because you don't trust that it will. Again, when you take that action, make sure it is inspired from your true desire and not because you have to do something because of something. Because you have to prove to everyone that you did. And manifestation responds to trust and not pressure. And lastly, people really underestimate the role of gratitude in manifestations. This is not about pretending everything is perfect or ignoring what you want to change. Gratitude signals again to your nervous system when you acknowledge what's already working in your life. Gratitude is about signaling safety to your nervous system. When you think about what's already working in your life, even in tiny ways, your body relaxes. I have a video on how to generate gratitude even when your life feels horrible. And I have a gratitude meditation on my website. I will link that in my description. Gratitude says, I recognize what I already have and I trust that more is coming. Manifestation is not about becoming someone or something else. It's about letting go of what you were never meant to carry in the first place. And when you stop gripping so tightly, things just don't need to be chased. They find you. And if you'd like to know about those quick micro habits that you can do throughout the day that will elevate your frequency and help you manifest faster, you can watch this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.